Welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Frank Trigg. That is Jerome Max Holloway sitting on the other end of the line. Just got done with practice. I'm on the West Coast. What is it, like 17 hours? What is it, like Tuesday there? What time is it over there?
Right now is Tuesday at 8:19.
Oh, okay, so you're 3 hours behind. I never know with Hawaii. How far you guys are behind. It's ridiculous. It's almost like you've crossed the date line. So how's training going?
Training going great for this camp, man. I've been getting in a bunch of jiu-jitsu and wrestling, getting ready for Dennis Bermudez, so feeling really great.
Bermudez is one of those really strange guys that comes in MMA now at the lower ranks. He's got really, really good wrestling and really good jiu-jitsu, and then he kind of isn't a guy that really knows how to keep the well-rounded game, completely together. Kind of break down Dennis how you see him when you're watching tapes on him.
When we watch tapes, he's just a good wrestler, closes distance. Just real well-rounded. He likes to put pressure, and he puts pressure really good. He likes to get you against the cage. He likes to power W, and I ain't scared to take a shot. He's willing to take a shot, to give a shot. So he's a banger for sure.
Who'd you bring in the camp, or who you train with that mimics Dennis Bermudez's style?
I got a bunch of wrestlers out in my team, Gracie Technex/MMAD. We got a bunch of good wrestlers. My coach, Rob Hessa, Ryan Lazarez, Brandon Wolf, Randy Lawler, a bunch of hammers, and my teammates is a bunch of hammers. I got a couple teammates like Dustin Kimura, Jonah Estrella, Dan Ige, just a bunch of good wrestlers. They went college, wrestled, did that thing a little while, came back home. So, a bunch of good wrestlers.
Now, you're not traveling too far. You're basically coming to the 8th island. And, Las Vegas is the 8th island of Hawaii. You're basically coming home. Do you feel like that you're going to have the hometown advantage when you guys are fighting here for UFC 160 inside MGM Grand Garden Arena?
Yeah, for sure. My last couple fights, I felt like I was at home. There was a bunch of Hawaiians up there supporting me. There's There's Hawaiians everywhere, and if I get offered to fight in Vegas or even inside Seattle, Washington, so there's just Hawaiians all over this island, all over this place.
How important is because BJ Penn was the first guy that really put Hawaii on a map from MMA standpoint, and he's very it's nationalistic. It's not even a state. It's a Hawaiian state of mind. When you're born and raised there, you're really close to the culture. It translates to people in Seattle and people in Las Vegas. Do you find yourself when you're out in Las Vegas and you get ready to fight, do you find yourself being able to pick out the Hawaiians in the crowd, and when you're doing the weigh-ins, be able to see what your contingency is without very much help?
Yeah, it's kind of easy to pick out a Hawaiian out of the crowd. Probably hat, shades, some type of tap-out shirt, white shirt, surf shorts. Jersey shorts, slippers, and what really gives it away is they're like kick his ass, brah, and weigh-ins or something. So we got our own language over here, Pidgin. So that's always gives it away. It
was funny when you and I trained together last summer. I had to ask you like 3 times to repeat what you said to me because my mind was not set for Pidgin yet, and I was still so confused of what was going on. It's funny. People don't realize you go to Hawaii and you're talking to a local. If you guys want to have a conversation about me right in front of me, like if you and Brandon Wolf want to talk about me, I'd have no idea what you're saying. It really is a totally different verbiage over there, and it's funny. And you're right. You know how much I love Hawaii, so it's right when you're sitting in the crowd and you're listening to a couple of guys, you can pick the Hawaiians out, and usually it's 35 degrees outside, and they're in t-shirt, board shorts, and slippers. And you're like, come on, man, it's snow. Would you get some clothes on? So let's break down, Jerome. Break down for me a typical training day for you. Give us like last week Wednesday. What'd you do last week Wednesday?
Last week Wednesday was we got some wrestling on with Rob Hessa. Some wrestling, and after that hit some mitts or do a little one-on-one private stand up. Nothing too fancy, just MMA practice, and then do a little. I got like an hour before I teach kickboxing class after practice, so. Get a little workout in between that too, so it's nothing too crazy my training days.
When you leave, you're gonna leave probably next week Tuesday, right? To come over to Las Vegas. What do you plan on
Yeah.
being when you land weight-wise, when you land? How much you want to weigh when you get here on Tuesday?
Landing weight wise, I want to be like at least 10 out, 9 out. 9 out would be perfect, or 11. Nothing too big. I hate cutting weight. I don't like cutting weight. I'm a big crybaby. You can ask Rylan. I don't like cutting weight at all. So if I can be 10 to 9 out, that'll be golden. If not, I'll have to suck it up and lose some weight crying. So we see.
Day of weigh-ins, you wake up. What's the best? What are you going to weigh when you wake up next week, Friday?
Next week Friday, we're probably gonna cut everything Thursday night, and next week Friday I'm probably gonna be weighing 45. Wake up in the morning 46, 45, and I don't like doing no cutting the day of weigh-ins. The day of weigh-ins is just a completely chill day, so we cut everything on Thursday day, and Friday we just wake up and we just have that long wait until I can eat again.
What's your first meal going to be after you make weight?
Right after I make weight, my first meal is we go to Whole Foods and we buy this big box of just loaded with fruits, all kind of different fruits, and that's my first meal for like the first couple of hours. We don't that and coconut water. We don't really eat. We don't try to rush to eat too fast because I don't want my stomach to get bloated too fast. So it's just this big box of fruit. I think it's like 2 pounds of fruits.
Wow.
So I put in me, yeah.
And then how much weight will you put on before for Saturday night's fight? Like how much will you weigh come Saturday night?
Come Saturday night, I never did weigh myself. I never really did, but I feel like I get back up to what I land. So I'll probably put back on the 10, maybe get to 58 at the most, but nothing too big. I'm not a really big 45er. A lot of people can see that, and I'm so tall and lean, so not too much.
Where does this fight put you? If you win this fight on Saturday, or a week and a half from now, where does it put you in the ranking system of title shot contention? Are you going to be 2 more fights away and be 4 more fights away? Where do you think it puts you with a victory?
This fight, with me and Bermudez being on a 3-win streak, and big things, I think it puts us, right underneath the top 10 guys. I'd be able to fight the more tougher guys, the more guys like maybe they're ranked in the 15 or 18 and up, so. And then maybe 5 fights more, maybe get a title shot or not. It's just whatever UFC wants to do with me. I'm still young. I'm not rushing to a title shot. I'd love to beat John Jones' record, but if UFC got a different plan for me, it is what it is.
Now there's a big article that came out today in the Bleacher Report that kind of broke down the UFC contracts and states every position, where it goes, how the money is worked out. I've never heard really, other than myself, because I had my own contract. But I didn't complain when I was in. There really hasn't been any real fighter saying, look, at the end of the day, I'd rather be fighting for World Series of Fighting or fighting for Bellator as opposed to the UFC, even if the money's the same, because there's so much more potential money. Have you seen your sponsorship dollars and your endorsement money coming up higher and higher as you win more and more?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Everybody loves a winner, and that's what you just gotta keep doing this for. You just gotta keep winning and just keep climbing the ladder. And people who cry about their contract must be crazy. First of all, you're with the UFC, the biggest thing in MMA, period. And then UFC, they like to give out money to us under the table. They give us, after every fight, I got a check. I got a check under the table. A disclosed check, and they take care of us. UFC, when it comes down to it, they really do take care of us. And if someone's complaining, they just gotta be money hungry, because you should be making a good living.
I've always told everybody, you don't get what you're worth. All of us are worth $1.5 million or more every time we fight. Every single guy is worth that much money. But that's not what we're gonna get. We're gonna get what we can negotiate, and it's our fault for having the manager that doesn't get us the right money, or if you do it yourself, like I did in some of my cases, just the money you get is what you sign for. We know the deal. We know what it says on the contract. We sign it. We look at the bout agreement. We sign it. We go and we fight. We get what we get. That's just what it is. You're right. I agree with you that the guys that aren't happy with the contracts or want more money, or it's because they're just money hungry. And it's not really it's not really how the sport's raised. Like how the sport was started was guys like you. You fight because you love to fight. If they paid you nothing, you'd still fight. You find another way to make money, you'd still fight. You're getting paid to do what you love. This is great.
Yeah, you know, touching that is just it's just awesome. You know, you know, you just gotta win. You know, look at George St. Pierre. You know, he started where I was. You know, he was a nobody in this MMA thing, and now you know he recently said he makes like 4 to 5 million a fight. You know, and everybody, and it doesn't. His UFC contract ain't saying he's making that. His UFC contract is saying that he's making way less than that. But then under the table, you know what I mean? He's making more, and that just shows that UFC takes care of fight. If you don't want to fight for UFC, go fight for someone else who's gonna probably pay you peanuts to do what you love, and you're just gonna be like, oh man, like now you're gonna really shoot yourself in the foot.
You know, I'm telling you from experience. I've been in the big leagues. I've been in the minor leagues. And nothing equates to being in the big leagues. There's nothing out there that's like being at the big show. I don't care what sport you're in, being at the big show is way better than being in the minors. It's just how it works. And you know, it was really controversial to me. And this is my last question to you before I let you go. Bam Bam Pat Healy got popped today. The rumor is that he got popped for marijuana, and they took $130,000 from him. There was the fight of the night bonus and his submission of the night bonus. They took all that money back from him. Do you think that was a little bit too harsh, taking all that money back from him after he had such a great fight?
You know, yeah, you signed the contract. You know what you said. You signed the contract, and it says right in your contract, you signed that line saying that you will pass the test, and UFC announced it that you're gonna get the money taken back if you don't make pass certain tests and whatever. You know, but touching on this, you know, I don't do drugs. I don't do none of those, the ATH or anything and steroids or marijuana. But you know, I think they need to kind of calm down with that marijuana issue because you know, marijuana does not give you superpowers. You know, they're giving people who's getting caught on steroids and TRT little slaps on the wrist. Oh, you're getting suspended for 30 days, and then they're getting fight. And then guys in marijuana, you like Nick Diaz, then they're getting like a year suspension or 90-day suspension. Pat Bam Bam Haley got. So I'm like, man, marijuana does not help you at all. It's actually supposed to kill your cardio. That's my belief. It's actually supposed to hurt you more than help you out. And you know, I don't know where they're coming from saying that it's a performance enhancer. I don't understand that, but you know, I think the marijuana thing should be looked around, and I know it's legal in a couple states now. So
yeah.
So you know, I don't know. I hope they fix for all the guys.
You know, my thing is, I think there's a lack of education from the commission level all the way down to the trainers level and everyone in between. Promoters, fighters, managers, trainers, everyone is really undereducated about the real effects of TRT and what its real uses are for and the real effects of marijuana and what it's used for as well. So I think there's a big problem going on right now with lack of education. Everyone's going off of what they heard and what they saw, what they think, not what's really scientific. So I think we have to have more research done and really have an educational program put out there for everybody to go, look, this is the reason. But the reality of it is, right now, if you fight in MMA, the rules are you can't do marijuana, but if you get a license and you get approved, you can do TRT, and that's just the reality of it. We can argue and complain as much as we want, but it's what we're stuck with.
Yeah, and you signed the dotted line. Again, what you said, you know, we at the end of the day, we signed the contract, we read the contract, you know. You're not going to not sign nothing. You're not, what you're going to say, oh, I didn't know I did it, or, you know, I didn't know I was in the contract. They're like, UFC is always talking about it, so at the end of the day, you sign the contract, and I think he should just shoot himself in the foot because, you know, $130,000 less richer, and that's a lot of money.
Dude, that's a lot more money than most of my friends make in a couple of years. You know? So, oh well. Well, Max, thanks for coming on here, and good luck next week. I think I'll actually be ringside watching you here when you're in Vegas, so I can't wait to watch you fight. Have fun, and we'll see you here next week.
Thank you.
Take care, bud.